To the world, I'm Nipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India foils Pakistan's attacks along entire western border, successfully intercepts Pakistan missiles directed at Jammu. Army reiterates resolve to respond to all nefarious designs with force. India thwarts Pakistan's nefarious designs once again as alert BSF foils a major infiltration bid along international boundary in Samba district of J&K. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting launches hashtag India Fights propaganda campaign, urges citizens to support and amplify this campaign, says put up this as the profile picture on all official social media accounts. US Secretary Marco Rubio tells Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to take concrete steps to end support for terrorist groups, reaffirms commitment to work with India in fight against terrorism in a call to Dr. S. Jaishankar. Pakistan begging international community for more loans, citing heavy losses inflicted by enemy, urges help in de-escalating. India to seek checks on IMF loans to Pakistan at meet today. On to the details. Pakistan Armed Forces launched multiple attacks using drones and other munitions along the entire western border on the intervening night of 8th and 9th May 2025. Indian Army shared a video and said Pakistani troops also resorted to numerous ceasefire violations or CFVs along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir. While the drone attacks were effectively repulsed and a befitting reply was given to the CFVs, Indian Army remains committed to safeguarding the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the nation. All nefarious designs will be responded with force. Also notably, Indian Defence Forces successfully neutralized missile and drone attacks by Pakistan targeting key areas in Jammu, Satwari, Samba, Arispura and Arnia. According to the defence sources, the attack was repelled with zero casualties, showcasing India's robust defence preparedness and real-time operational readiness. The Pakistani military action comes after India conducted precision strikes on terrorist groups and camps in Pakistan and Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir as part of Operation Sindoor, specifically clarifying that no Pakistani military infrastructure was targeted. Meanwhile, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh is meeting with Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan in New Delhi. Earlier, Border Security Force foiled a major infiltration bid in J&K, Samba and Jammu. According to reports, many terrorists killed as the BSF foiled infiltration bid along the international border. And for an update on the current situation, we have Nandita Dagar joining us. Well, Nandita, following last night's failed misadventure by Pakistan, where Indian Defence Forces successfully intercepted drone and missile attacks, what is the most recent information available on the situation?
Yes, Lipakshi, I come to you as a very proud Indian whose military forces have currently actually met the standards that they have set for themselves. All the men and women at the radar systems, the integrated command and control systems, the sensors, the weapons, all of them are at high vigil, high alert, not just since today, but ever since that brutal, heinous, animalistic, barbaric terrorist attack that was conducted by Pakistani proxies, Pakistani terrorists in Pahalgam on 22nd of April. As our Prime Minister had vowed, he had promised the Indian citizens that India will avenge, not just avenge the loss of lives of these 26 innocent tourists who were gunned down at point blank range. He had also said that he had also warned the international community, including Pakistan, that not just these terrorists will be hunted down and delivered to justice, but also their masters, their masterminds, they will not find a safe haven, they will not get a safe space to survive. And that is what is exactly that India did on 7th of May by targeting nine terrorist camps, terrorist infrastructure, 5 in Pakistan, 4 in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and they were not military targets, they were actually terrorist infrastructure where the Hizbul Mujahideen chief and also the Lashkar-e-Toiba chief Hafiz Saeed, their family members, etc. And you can just imagine Pakistan's complicity with terror when we saw that the funeral processions of these people, when the terrorists, when they were killed by this terrorist strike by India, when their funerals the processions were taking place, the Pakistani army in uniform, there were Pakistani army personnel in uniform who were mourning. The Pakistani MP was actually wailing and crying buckets of tears in the Pakistani National Assembly, which is their parliament. So you can just imagine what kind of support that this nation has given to terrorism. It is the fountainhead which aids, supports, funds, trains, arms terrorists, not just in South Asia but around the globe. Forget Osama bin Laden being killed in a raid by the Americans, by the American Navy SEALs on 1st of May 2011, which actually woke the world up. It actually alerted the world to how it had provided a safe haven, a sanctuary, in fact protection to a world-renowned terrorist who was wanted dead or alive. But also you see several shootings within the USA. There are several shootings where people carry out these mass shootings in USA. They have their origins and some of them have been trained in Pakistani terror camps. So it is a known terrorist state, but it just has escaped being designated as a terrorist state because of its iron brother China, which protects it at the UN Security Council and actually protects it, shields it from any sanctions. Now the Pakistani state is a bankrupt state, not just morally but also financially, which uses terrorism as an instrument of state policy because it can never counter India as far as conventional war is concerned, and therefore it resorts to these kind of cowardly attacks. In fact, several Pakistani politicians and army generals actually have termed this bleeding with 1,000 cuts. They have vowed to bleed India with 1,000 cuts. Now, India decided that enough is enough. Prime Minister Modi has always said that India has a zero tolerance to policy. We have tried in the past to engage with Pakistan through dialogue, through forums such as SCO, SARC, as well as in the UN Security Council. But this attack on the tourists in Pahalgam, it actually just shook the nation up, and no self-respecting nation can tolerate, no sovereign nation can tolerate this kind of an affront and this kind of insecurity to its own citizens. And that is why India was forced, that is what our Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said in a press briefing yesterday as well as day before yesterday, that India was forced to take this action as a deterrence and also as a preemptive measure, because India had credible information that these were the places, Bahawalpur, where Maulana Masood Azhar and his family were residing. Hafiz Saeed, now apparently the Pakistanis say he's in house arrest, but he's actually free to roam. He actually gives speeches very openly in Pakistan, and he's actually giving Friday sermons very regularly every week. So they are not under house arrest. They are very free, and they are actually protected by Pakistani army, the
Absolutely.
ISI. The Pakistani government, of course, is clueless as to what is happening. The Pakistani Defense Minister Khwaja Asif on Sky News 3 days back, when he was asked by the anchor called Miss Yalda Hakim that Pakistan is known, why does Pakistan face these accusations? It is laughable. He actually, I think he sort of, was it a Freudian slip? I do not know. Was he being candid, or was he showing his helplessness? He said that we have been doing the dirty work of the US and UK, Britain for that matter. These are his exact words, and I'm quoting him, for years now, for decades now. Now India does not care whose dirty work the Pakistanis have been doing, but for the past more than 75 years, India has Pakistan has bled India through terrorist attacks, and this is just one of them. Just remember the heinous 26/11 terrorist attack at the Taj and at Victoria Terminus and at several other places in Mumbai in 2008. The pre-Diwali attack in Sarojini Nagar, Lajpat Nagar, India Gate in 2005. The terrorist attack in mosque in Hyderabad. The Pakistanis are trying to drive a wedge between Indians. We already know that. But Pakistani, the army chief of Pakistan, Asim Munir, it would be actually shame and a fallacy to call him general, because he does not behave. He has not behaved like a general in the speech that he gave on 19th of April, where he actually gave a speech like a extremist fundamentalist. And we do not know whether that provoked the Pahalgam attack or not, but through my army sources, they have told me very, very clearly that the second rung of Hamas leadership actually met the second rung of ISI leadership in Pakistan occupied Kashmir in April, that is last month. So, and also the projectiles that were delivered by Pakistan and actually launched into India in last night, before 8:45 last night Indian Standard Time, they were all rudimentary rockets, just like Hamas manufactures in its tunnels in Gaza. So you can just imagine that kind of how technologically backward they are. Yes, they do have JF-10 and JF-17 which have been donated to them by China, just like a very rich person can donate to a begging beggar. That is what they do have. But what about the pilots? Are they actually trained on them? Are they capable? Do they have the number of warships that we have? Do they have anti-ship missiles like we have? Just imagine the foresight of Prime Minister Modi. In 2018 and 19, the US had opposed, and I remember it very clearly when Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman was our defense minister. The US had categorically stated that India will come under sanctions if it buys the S-400 air defense missiles from Russia. Prime Minister Modi's government or the Indian government did not buckle under pressure at all. It went ahead and bought these S-400s. Just remember what these S-400s have done. They have saved plenty of lives, because last night they brought down 8 missiles from Pakistan and Pakistan occupied Kashmir, which the Pakistanis launched. They were all neutralized. Also, let us give a reference to the Akash, which is made in India, designed and developed by the DRDO, manufactured by our Indian ordnance factories, Bharat Electronics Limited. They are surface-to-air missiles. They can now all these, the S-400, the Akash, the Igla, all these are missiles which can actually track and identify and engage these targets hundreds of kilometers away, and they can engage multiple targets. So this is the success of the Indian Armed Forces. A very, very credible, potent hardware with very, very alert, vigil and competent men and women behind the machinery which we have. Lepakshi?
Absolutely. India was forced to take this measure as a deterrent. Nandita, just stay with us. Meanwhile, we'll tell our viewers that in Samba sector of Jammu Frontier BSF, in the intervening night of 8th and 9th of May 2025, an infiltration attempt by a big group of terrorists has been tried, which was detected by surveillance grid. This infiltration bid was supported by fire from Park Rangers Post Dandar. Alert troops of BSF neutralized the infiltration bid, killing at least 7 terrorists and caused extensive damage to the Park Post Dandar. An HHTI clip of destruction of Park Post Dandar is enclosed for reference.
Yeah, sorry, are you speaking to me? Hello? Hello, Lepakshi, are you?
Yes, Nandita, tell us.
Should I continue?
Yes. Tell me more about this. The BSF neutralized infiltration bid.
Yes, last night it had come to, it had been tweeted by the BSF's northern range that in the Samba sector. Now, Samba is a place in Jammu, south of the Pir Panjals, which actually is not on the line of control. It is on the international border, which is a recognized international border. When the Pakistanis felt that their missiles, 8 missiles, their drones, their kamikaze drones, their cottage industry type rockets were not fruitful, they were not successful, and they were not able to cause any damage to civilian or military infrastructure or installations, they resorted to these suicide bombers and terrorist attackers. So, and they tried to infiltrate them through Samba on the international boundary under the cover of fire. Now we know that not just small arms, which were traditionally being used whenever ceasefire violations between India and Pakistan occur on the LOC, be it north of the Pir Panjal in the Kashmir Valley, in Uri, Tangdar, Kupwara, Baramulla, or be it in Poonch, Rajouri, Akhnur, etc., which is south of the Pir Panjal. This time, mortar and heavy artillery has been used. So you can, and there are mortar shells and shrapnels of these bombs which local people in these areas of Poonch, Rajouri have shown the Indian media. Yet, thankfully, no casualties were caused last night because of the alertness and the vigilance and, of course, the efficacy of our air defense systems. So, when the enemy cannot counter you through a conventional war, it will use these kind of tactics of terrorist attacks and cowardly terrorist attacks. When the other country, which is a sovereign, self-respecting, powerful country, when it responds and retaliates, then it will resort to these kind of homemade, rudimentary, cottage industry style rockets. When they are downed, then it will use these kind of misinformation or to mislead the Indian public. And in the I'm using it metaphorically, the form of war metaphorically, it will use all kinds. And in this age of social media, where
all
Twitter
right,
handles
Nandita,
and
we'll
WhatsApps
keep taking
and
more information
Instagrams
from you as and when we require. Thank you so much for all those details. And a crucial meeting of the International Monetary Fund will take place in Washington today. Ahead of the crucial IMF meeting, India on Thursday hinted that it could communicate its view to the global financial body on its bailout package for Pakistan. Well, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said India's executive director at the IMF will put forward the country's position during the meeting of the board of the global body on Friday.
We have an executive director at the IMF. Tomorrow there is a meeting of the board of the IMF, and I'm sure that our executive director will put forward India's position. The decisions of the board are a different matter. You know the process through which they are made. But I think the case with regard to Pakistan should be self-evident to those people who generously open their pockets to bail out this country. And since you are from Bloomberg, I think you would have the data on how many IMF bailout programs have been, very good, thank you, have been sanctioned in the space of the last 3 decades. And I think you would also have an idea of how many of those programs have actually reached successful conclusion. Probably not many. So I think this is a decision that board members have to take by looking deep within themselves and looking at the facts.
Well, the IMF Executive Board is scheduled to meet Pakistan officials today for first review of the extended funding facility. Pakistan has received several bailout packages from the IMF over the past 10 years. And for more, Akshay Dongre joins us from New Delhi on this. Well, Akshay, how might India's intervention at the IMF meeting today influence the outcome of Pakistan's request for continued financial assistance amid the current scenario?
Well, Lipakshi, what we are seeing at this point in time is that the kind of warfare that Pakistan is indulging in and threatening not only the military installations but also the civilian areas. They are using missiles and drones worth millions of dollars. Much more money than they are getting in from the IMF and the World Bank. They are utilizing not for welfare of the people or for upliftment of the poor, but not only training terrorists but also waging warfare against other countries. So certainly India is going to present its points and it is going to take up Pakistan on this matter as far as IMF is concerned, because IMF remains the last hope for Pakistan to in fact get its ailing, limping economy out of the present situation where it is in. And if the IMF provides funds again to Pakistan, that IMF also has blood on its hand of funding not only terrorists but also killing of innocents. that is being used by the money that is being provided by the IMF and the World Bank. So certainly they will also be held accountable if this situation prevails, and it seems that the government of India is going to take up that matter, and the review meeting of IMF is going to take place where India is going to rake up this point that not only funding of terrorists is being taken place, but also importing of missiles and drones that is not used for anti-terror operations, but also in fact funding of terrorists and attacking of its neighboring countries. So there is hypocrisy, and situation is quite dire for Pakistan, and until and unless it is forced into withdrawing and de-escalating, the situation is only going to escalate, with Pakistan going into further economic trouble. So India is going to take up that point, and also flag the funding that is coming in from IMF for bailout being used to attack innocent civilians and killing of children and women as well.
Right, Akshay. As we know, Pakistan literally begging the international community for more loans. Is there any indication that India may push for renewed pressure on Pakistan through the watchdog FATF, possibly seeking to have it grey listed again?
Well, certainly that is going to be on the agenda once again, because now you have ample proof of not only the Pahalgam attack being orchestrated in the headquarters of the Pakistani army, but also funding and equipping of terrorists that are not only killing civilians in India but in Afghanistan as well as other parts of the world. So certainly the FATF that had just taken Pakistan out of the grey list will have to once again review the kind of money that is being used to fund and channel to terrorist organizations. So that has to be taken up by the Indian side as well to the FATF once again, so that once again the FATF watchdog can monitor the situation that is prevailing in between India and Pakistan because of them taking Pakistan out of the grey list.
All right, Akshay, thank you so much for all those details. And in Samba sector of Jammu frontier, BSF in the intervening night of 8th and 9th of May 2025, an infiltration attempt by a big group of terrorists has been tried, which was detected by surveillance grid. This infiltration bid was supported by fire from Park Rangers post Dhandar. Alert troops of BSF neutralized the infiltration bid, killing at least 7 terrorists and caused extensive damage to the Park post of Dhandar. An HHTI clip of destruction of Park post Dhandar is enclosed for reference. In fact, BSF caused extensive damage to the Park post Dhandar. In Samba sector of Jammu frontier, BSF in the intervening night of 8th and 9th of May 2025, an infiltration attempt by a big group of terrorists has been tried, which was detected by the surveillance grid. And in this infiltration bid was supported by fire from Park Rangers post Dhandar, and alert troops of BSF neutralized the infiltration bid, killing at least 7 terrorists and caused extensive damage to the Park post of Dhandar. And for more on this, we have Nandita Dagar joining us again. Well, Nandita, BSF caused extensive damage to the Park post Dhandar. Do you have more details on this?
Rangers, which is their border protection force, it is called the Pakistani Rangers, and but they are only in name. It is the Border Action Team of Pakistan. These are small groups and small cells of the Pakistani army, which they have actually used to under the cover of fire by the Pakistani army, small arms usually, and by firing mortars and shells on Indian posts, Indian Army posts or BSF posts. Under that cover, they try to infiltrate as many terrorists as they can. Now, this was happening very, very regularly till the year 2019, and when we saw the Article 370 revoked, that was when they actually had upped this kind of or increased this kind of shelling and firing. We had seen it earlier in 2016 when the terrorist Burhan Wani was killed. So, ever since the Modi government had a baptism by fire, in fact, because since 2014, the Pakistani army from 2014 till to the 2019 had repeatedly violated the ceasefire agreement of 2003, and in the guise of firing across the LOC and the international border, it was trying to infiltrate these terrorists, get these terrorists inside the Indian J&K. Now, when it became difficult for them to get these terrorists inside in Uri, Tangdhar, Kupwara, which is north of Pir Panjal, which is the Kashmir Valley, then they turned the chapter of their playbook, and now they have started infiltrating them through Kathua, Samba. These are places on the districts on the international border of and they lie in Jammu, which is part of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So when the BSF, it says, it has neutralized, obviously all our forces, including the BSF, are on very high alert since the massacre of tourists in on 22nd of April 2025, that is last month. Our forces are on high vigil, and it is kudos to them and salutations to them that they have prevented a very big terrorist attack. Because if these 7 people, as they say, they have neutralized, if they had entered and they had carried out suicide bombings just like they had carried out in Uri in 2016, then we can just imagine the kind of damage and the kind of losses we would have suffered.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much, Nandita, for all those details as of now. And another false viral WhatsApp message is being circulated about closure of ATMs across India for 2 to 3 days. The fact-check unit in a social media post debunked the reports, saying the message is fake. All the ATMs will continue to operate as usual. It also urged people not to share unverified messages. Also, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting has launched a hashtag India Fights Propaganda campaign across social media platforms. In order to support and amplify this campaign, all are requested to put up this as the profile picture on all official social media accounts of respective departments and media units. Well, another major news is coming in from the Union Territory of Chandigarh, where an air warning was received from Air Force Station of possible drone attack in the morning, following which sirens were sounded and advisory was issued for the people to remain indoors and away from their balconies. Well, the alert is now over, but administration has asked people to remain vigilant.
जैसे ही चंडीगढ़ में जिस भी टाइम सायरन की आवाज आती है, तुरंत रोड और पार्क को छोड़ के अपने घरों के अंदर चले जाएं। कोई रोड और पार्क पे न मिले। नियर बाई अगर आपका मकान नहीं है तो नियर बाई बिल्डिंग में चले जाएं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। रोड और पार्क के अंदर कोई नहीं मिलेगा जैसे ही सायरन की आवाज।
All right, we'll keep getting you all the updates. That's all for this edition, as of now, of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download now. Well, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from Al Fasair in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.